everybody, and welcome to the Brog. My name is Adam Josh, as the card says. I don't think I'll be needing this microphone, so... Well, welcome. This is the Brog, episode 88. My name is Adam Josh, and it's been a while. The last Brog that I recorded was April 15th, and I called it How to Demystifying Extrasensory Perception. Today I want to go a little bit deeper, and we'll talk about how to be a god. And I haven't had any breakfast, and I haven't had anything to drink or eat yet, so this is me after I've had some good sleep and some time to think about this. Sorry that I haven't brogged a little bit more. In August we started building a restaurant, and once it was built, we've opened it, and I've been working as a manager there, so I'm actually going tonight to work as a manager there, so it's been busy. Plus, some of you who may know me know that we don't just operate one business. I have another major franchise business that we are occupied with as well. So anyway, I've been a little bit busy, but my apologies, and hopefully this Brog, episode 88, How to Be a God, will make up for it. I wanted to start this particular episode with a reading from adamjosh.com, of course. You look at the Brog 12, the revelation of Adam Josh, and it sort of encapsulates the idea that I wanted to present to you today. So we're going to take a walk through some charted yet little known territory, and I think that we're all people that I'm speaking with. This will be like a round table sort of intellectual, spiritual powwow. I think that you're all smart people, so I think we should be able to talk to each other, not like we're Neanderthals and not like we have IQs of 50. So I think that this could be a profitable conversation, and if you can expand your imagination and expand your awareness, then that would be great. On December 12th, I had this really crazy dream that I woke up and wrote about. It goes, so last night I went to bed at 7 p.m. My headspace was a horrible place to be, and I didn't feel like suffering it anymore. I actually was sick of the entire planet. Sometimes this whole world system irritates me. When you're sensitive, it's a blessing and a curse. So I hopped in bed after a shower and kissed this place goodbye. I literally felt like I was hopping in a spaceship and looking at Earth in my rear view. First thing I remember was a future scenario where I was I was in space looking at a swarm of machines heading towards Earth. The machines birthed out smaller machines, which also birthed out smaller machines. They were all heading towards Earth to devastate it. There were 40 big machines. I heard the number. They were wondering if 40 machines would be enough to take over the planet. The machines looked humanoid, but very tall. Then I'm back on Earth watching the machines as they attempt to corral humanity and destroy our technology. In one part, I was with the survivors who were huddled in a forest and about to be attacked. Towards the end of my adventure, there was a narrator, like the whole thing was a plot or a movie. The narrator was telling a reflective story about Earth, sort of in first person. He was saying to future humanity that if they wanted to really have a laugh, they should run towards the bulls on the mountain. And as he was saying that, I saw an ocean and a mountain and someone running at a herd of bulls on the mountain, and a giant god appears. "Who are you petty humans to disturb me on my mountain?" And the narrator says, "Remember, he's just a castaway with technology. He isn't what you think." And whoever it was that rushed up the mountain gets in a fight with this god who is using holographic imaging to project a blue image of himself about 30 times his actual size. And the ring device he was using falls off or gets broken, and then we just see a petty caveman in rags, now knees down in the ocean and worrying about losing his herd. Pan out as my view goes back towards space, and the narrator says, and this keeps happening on every planet as long as it takes over and over. Pretty heavy duty dream. If you're not familiar with my work or who I am, I do a lot of things, but one of the things I do is I have crazy dreams, and I'll write them down on adamjosh.com on the website. I had this dream called Ghost Whisper Ballistics. You can check the link here or go to the archive section at the website. and it detailed like very chip or microchipped, and some of the declassified experiments that are going on with some secret ops and soldiers. And I've had some pretty crazy dreams that some of them have come true, some of them are far out, some of them I don't even know what to do with, so I just write them down. Outside of all that, yeah, I play music and yada yada. I do lots of different things. So what I wanted to talk about today, though, was how to be a god. If you hear any background noise, it's really windy outside, so the roof may blow off while I'm doing this. I have no idea. How to be a god is what we're talking about. So in this particular scenario that I dreamt about, there are advanced beings that have taken, that are basically going to come to the planet and destroy it to then start over and then have themselves be the god. So be god of a planet. This is a big topic, and I'm trying to think of where to start. So there's a lot of planets in the universe, right? We're not on the only planet in the entire universe. There's lots of them, and we have technology as of the 1940s that I've been able to see to have man-made anti-gravity spaceships. You can Google the Nazi flying bell, the Haunebu, Haunebu, I think. So we've had anti-gravity flying technology. Tesla invented a lot of things like free electricity to the entire world. He also was developing man-made earthquake machines. We have geoengineering on large scales now with chemtrails and the HARP array in Alaska and other places. So we are at a place in the public arena where we can terraform planets, create earthquakes, have anti-gravity flying spaceships. And though you may know this, and though I may know this, and it may be common knowledge what's going on in the Skunk Works divisions or research and development divisions of Lockheed Martin and Raytheon and Northrop Grumman, although you and I may know this, a really good example is that the entire country of North Korea may not know what you and I know. There are lost tribes of Native Indians and lost tribes of Africans in Africa who don't have cell phones, who are so what we would consider technologically inept. It's people that, comparatively speaking to our modern culture, are so far behind in technology that we would consider them like cavemen. We look down on them and we say like, oh, we're so far ahead of you, and we have all these things that you would consider like magic because they haven't evolved to a certain place of technology as a people group to understand that what we're doing isn't magic, although it may seem like it, to show somebody like that a cell phone or all the cool things that I can do with this, or to show them anti-gravity flying spaceships, or how Tesla was able to shake an entire bridge or a building, would be like, how do you do that? It's crazy, and that's happening right now on planet Earth. We don't have to go back to caveman times to amaze people like that. We could say right now in 2013, there's an entire country of North Koreans who are stuck somehow back in like 1940s, 1950s. The entire country has missed things like the technological revolution, pop culture, music. Not that they're missing out on that much. And the information superhighway. Forgive me as I ramble a bit, but what I was saying was there are people on this same planet right now who would find our what we consider modern technology or holographic imaging to be pretty amazing. We don't have to stretch our imagination so far to think like, oh, cavemen would think lighters are amazing. Like, there's people in North Korea, there's people in tribes of Africa that would find a lot of our technology amazing. I still find that there's I think it's F-16 with a vertical takeoff adjustment to it. I find that amazing. If I saw an anti-gravity flying spaceship, I'm sure I would find it amazing, even if it was like man-made or not man-made. Like, I would find all these things amazing, and I consider myself a well-informed person, but there's so much that we don't know. There's underground bunkers and secret research and development things all over the world, and things that the common person will never know. Although we accept that we're 30 years behind, technologically speaking, we never really make the leap to say, okay, well, what's in the public arena versus what's in the secret Lockheed Martin development skunkworks divisions. What can they possibly do with that? I've seen videos on YouTube of China holograms where they project an entire city. So holographic imaging has come a long way. Laser technology has come a long way. I completely believe that there's space weapons and orbiting space platforms and people manning on those platforms. If Richard Branson can privatize space flight, then it's not so far of a stretch of the imagination to think that an unlimited budget, like black money or black budget, would be able to fund a research development team to go to other planets on anti-gravity flying spaceships or time travel, time dilation. Who knows what we've been able to achieve that is not public information. So you take all this into consideration, that there's people in North Korea, a whole country that is like technologically suppressed, held in this arrested development by their crazy leaders. And there's China has firewalled off the internet. So you can see in modern times, in 2013, how there's people who don't have the technology that we have and don't have the information that we have. So therefore, the people who have the information or are in possession of the technology become gods. They become the powerful become the gods to the weak, and the weaker of the two look up to these powerful beings as gods. So my point is, we have the technology right now to get off this planet. So say that we wanted to get off planet and create a whole civilization on other planets. What would we do? We would take 2 or 3 people, maybe somehow erase their memory, or maybe more people. Maybe we'd do some abductions on this planet. We would go to another planet, and we would have them populate. And to them, these people, whoever they are, if we erase their memories or if we cause some sort of cataclysmic event with our terraforming technology, we would be the gods on other planets. Like you and I, if we had access to this technology, could literally transport people from this planet to another. If there's not sustainable life on that planet, then we could create an artificial terraform or create an artificial bubble or whatever on that planet with oxygen, or we could, there's so many different things that we could do. But my point is that we could literally transport a section of civilization from here to another planet, create a cataclysmic event, and then we could pose as the gods to these technologically suppressed people. If they had kids and they had kids and they had kids, their kids had kids, then they might actually believe after a generation, or maybe even the first generation, if we were able to wipe their memory or give them enough drugs that screwed them up good enough, that we created the planet. And especially if we say we created this planet and we're your gods, and we come down from these vimanas or spaceships. You look at ancient drawings on Earth, and what do you find? Vimanas in Indian culture. You find in the Greek pantheon of gods at the top of Mount Olympus was said to literally come off the top of the mountain, like come on. So I don't know the full capabilities of anti-gravity flying UFOs, but I do know that if you can shield gravity, I believe that doesn't have an effect on time. If time travel technology has already been invented, would you know? Well, that's ridiculous, Adam. Is it ridiculous? Is it really ridiculous? If people are already traveling back and forth through time, wouldn't that make our sense of linear time and how things have been planned out from scriptures and prophecies, wouldn't it make a little bit more sense? And if you're in control of this type of technology, you could literally rewrite history or write history, which is sort of what we're seeing. Again, this is a big topic, but my point is how to be a god. If you're in the research development teams of this place, or even if you had access to spaceships, like shuttle, and like we've landed on the moon apparently, right? So I believe that there's moon bases on the moon. I believe that there's bases on Mars and a population on Mars. And if it's true or not, you wouldn't know. You know, what is there to gain if you know that there's a population on other planets? You know, so it doesn't really affect your day-to-day life. But if you want to know how to be a god, you look at our history, the history of Earth, and what do you see? You see cataclysmic events. And if you had the ability to cause or make them, you would seem like a god. We've seen in Genesis chapter 6, we see stories of, you know, global flooding. We see in other cultures Vimanas, like I said, in Indian folklore. The Chinese believe that their leaders have the right to rule because they're descended from the gods, descended from the serpent gods, or whatever. But you add all this together and you start to see a pattern, like I described in this dream, that I'm not saying that Mormons are right, where, you know, you die and you go populate another planet, but what I'm saying is we already have the technology to do that. More than just having the technology to do that, we have, in 2013, entire countries of people that are being held back, artificially held back in like 1940s or primitive cultures. We can see that the arrested development of people. So people like you and me, who are maybe advanced in their thinking a little bit and have the internet and aren't, you know, we like to research, we like to think that everybody's on our same page. But I'm telling you, friend, there are people who are not on your page. There are people who, even though you maybe wouldn't lord it over them and maybe you wouldn't take advantage of their ignorance, there's people right now in 2013 that have no idea the things that you know. That, like, I study about chemtrails, I study different religions, and I realize that I have separated myself through my studies into some category of person that not many people are at that level of awareness. And it's not that they're bad people or that I'm a great person, because I'm not a great person. There are just, when you're limited to technology, when you're limited to your access of information, you are restricted in your ability and your awareness. People profit from that. Imagine before the internet, like every idea that was intellectual property, people profit from it. They trademark intellectual property, they patent ideas. You know, KFC wouldn't got this far if their secret recipe was well known. It's a horrible example, but if everybody knew everything, then there'd be a lot less ways to profit, because our system of currency and all that is designed to profit, in a large part of it, to profit off of people's ignorance. If everybody knew everything about everything, there'd be a lot less secrets, and there'd be a lot less ways to make money. So, right now, in this very 2013, and in this particular state of time, there's entire countries that are being held back in the 1930s. There's entire countries that are being firewalled off from information, and we can see that there are people in leadership who profit from this. So as sick as it may seem, or as twisted as it may be, we look at Kim Jong-un and we think, like, how could a person do that to an entire country of people? Now times that by 1,000, and you may get the idea of who these gods are. We look at gods from scripture in this culture. Who has mass murdered more people, the God of the Bible or Hitler? If you honestly answer that question yourself, or even give it any thoughts at all, you'd have to admit that the God of the Bible, if the flood story is true and all the killing the entire generation of Israel, then skip forward to the book of Revelation and how many people are going to wind up in the lake of fire. The God of the Bible has mass murdered more people than Hitler, and sent them to fire, by the way, I might add. But like crazy sheep that a lot of us are, we tend to just gravitate towards these psychopathic leaders and let them control us. I don't know why. So times that by getting off this planet. Add that to getting off this planet. We right now, we can all agree, I'm sure that you can agree with me, that we've been able to get off this planet. We've been to the moon. There's satellites. You know, we've literally, as a species, gotten off of Earth. But that's where an average knowledge stops. Where I take it further is I research into other things, and I realize that not only have we gotten off this planet, but we're on other planets as a species of humans. We're off other planets. And if you think about alien abductions over the years, like, are they all lying? If people have been abducted, where do these people go? Maybe they go to other planets, maybe they go to underground bunkers, maybe they're tested on, maybe there are people populated on other planets, and they have their own ideas of God. Do you think that your idea of God is the same idea of God that people are going to have on other planets? Why do you think that? There are so many planets out there. There's so many stars. You look up at the sky and see planets and stars. There's a lot, right? How many ideas of God are there on every planet? There's lots of ideas of gods. And maybe they have different ideas or better ideas. Maybe if one particular group went to another planet and had their technologically superior masters, transport them there. Maybe these particular gods explain to them, hey, I didn't really create this Earth, I didn't create the universe, but I am bringing you to another planet. Maybe their kids didn't realize that story and started worshiping them. Maybe they left, maybe they're taller, maybe they're shorter, maybe people that we've cloned are shorter. Like you read about Nephilim and the giants in olden times. We have technology right now that would amaze primitive man. I mean, we could use some of Tesla's technology and some of John Hutchison, a Canadian inventor. We could use some of his technology and literally cause earthquakes. We could move mountains. We could form pyramids. We could do great things that would amaze other civilizations. And these things have happened right here on planet Earth. We've seen great floods, cataclysms, pyramid buildings, and the ancients, our primitive man, a lot of them attributed it to the gods or whatever. And one of my major points is, where are these gods? Where are these gods? The ones on Mount Olympus, they're gone. Like, where are they? Islam's God, Allah, where is Allah? Well, it's everybody, it's everywhere, it's everything. He just has messengers, right? Okay, so like, when in the future sometime, I feel like we're all being set up. Every world religion is being set up for some great return of a Messiah or some sort of future intervention of here I am your God. Okay, now, in that particular scenario, when the God returns, we have to be vigilant to realize that we may have been fooled. We may have been tricked somewhere along this line. There's lots of crazy people, like in the entire country of North Korea, full of people who have been duped. But you don't believe that you've been duped. You don't believe it because you've invested all your time and energy into this Hitler God that you have, and you think that your Hitler God is the best. No matter how many people he's mass murdered, you believe that he is unconditional love, even though unconditional love means unconditional, because that's what unconditional means. Your God could do no wrong. You don't believe that maybe your God is something that you've invented in your head, because when this God, whether it's the Messiah or some sort of other group's being, returns to harvest his herd, we're going to have a great Y in the road, a great separation, a great opportunity to go this way or that. Well, wait a minute, this isn't the God that I had in my mind. Wait a minute, this Allah guy is a real jerk. Or wait a minute, like, how many people are just going to blindly do whatever an alien says if an alien ship lands and says, oh yeah, that whole Mount Olympus thing, that was us and my family, and yeah, I'm the Messiah too. Is everybody just going to be like, okay, I guess this is the Messiah from Planet Pop-Tart, and whatever you say is true, and we believe you? Because are we that sheepishly blind? Are we going to follow whoever has power blindly? Technological power, because we don't. Like, the North Koreans follow their master and leader and supreme leader? Are we going to be that blind? So we have to be more streetwise. And I feel like I'm talking to intellectuals, and I feel like I'm talking to spiritual people. And I just want to expand your mind that, hey, life is everywhere in the universe, and we could go off and populate our own worlds right now, and we could be the gods. So that's how to be a god, is basically be a genocidal asshole. You could do it, and I could do it. I don't want to, but you could. And thanks for watching the Brog. This has been another episode, episode 88. My name is Adam Josh, and tell your friends.
What's your favorite website, guys?
AdamJosh.com.